Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Raseini Titan, and today we're on Raseini. I've been looking up the pronunciation, I still can't quite get it right. In the Kraft Panther, this is again another old game going back to last March, and well, it's one of these. I'm going to go for the eastern side of the map. It's some ways less complicated country, especially in a medium tank. There's a lot to be said for going up to the castle in heavy tanks, but it's a bit like fighting in Ghost Town, I always find, because if you don't really pay eagle-eyed attention to what your teammates are doing in the castle, you can find yourself in trouble very easily, because they'll go around a wall one way and they're isolated from you by the castle walls, and you go the other way, and the next thing you're facing 6 tanks on your own. So it can be very effective, and it attracts a lot of tanks. Everybody seems to want to go and fight in the castle. This side of the map though is pretty isolated as well, in the sense that each section of it, like this area now that the tanks are entering into, is a little area of its own. And the area by the river on my left is the other side of a ridgeline, and is completely isolated from that again. Same way to the north of me is essentially a separate area again. When you get there, although there are spots and locations where you could be seen occasionally from the castle. Just checking that corner there as I was coming out, see did anybody see me. Was going to come out here, but anyway, we'll see. We have a tiger. Should have probably, again, overuse of auto aim on my part. It's one of my abiding flaws. Should probably put that shot in, because it can penetrate the Kraft Panther. It can penetrate the flat surfaces of a tiger without too much trouble. However, now I'm starting to attract attention from behind the tiger. There's an artillery round there. Somebody bounced from behind the tiger. That was the tiger dunking the shot into the earth, but we're now attracting more fire. Another tank from behind the tiger, and somebody a little bit more effective up there in the high ground in front of me. Meanwhile, we've made contact in the castle, but we're again outnumbered really, and we're separating ourselves. 2 tanks have gone down at the low ground, and there's 1 tank up at the castle proper. So he's probably going to be in serious trouble, and the guys in the low ground are in a position to support each other. We are, however, cleaning up here on the eastern side of the map, in the sense we've come around the corner, we've overwhelmed the 2 tanks that advanced, and we're about to overwhelm the remaining defenders. Now I crossed the open ground here to get a better shot, and as soon as I did, I was spotted from the castle, so I decided to keep going, get some solid ground between me and the castle before I stop to actually fire at the Hellcat. We've dealt with one of the tank destroyer defenders that was on this side, so it's just the Hellcat remaining. There is, however, nothing to choose between the sides at the moment. It's just that they have a positional advantage on one side. Managed to take out the Kraft Panther, but didn't save the tiger because he was on fire and he didn't have a fire extinguisher for whatever reason. We need to push through on this side though and clear it up. Just get rid of the remaining enemies on this side so that the tanks that are engaged are freed up to reinforce the centre before it completely collapses, although I'd say it's probably going to collapse no matter what we do. Now I completely fluffed this shot here. No real excuse for it. I should have been able to do better, and I will regret it later. Regret that a lot. We've managed to flush out the artillery, and I just want to see if I can get in on the action before they get overrun. So we have a shot here at the M41. We get 1 round off. Will I get the second one? No, just taken out just before I fired. I'd say around the time I pulled the trigger. I am too much in the open for this tank destroyer, and he's pulling back, and he is in a stronger position than I am. I was thought about going over the top there, but I changed my mind because I wasn't certain what the terrain was like in front of me. I didn't know if I could get into low ground by the river quickly enough. And as it turns out, it was just as well that I did so, because when I do cross over just now, I realise, somewhat to my distress, that it's a cliff that I'm driving towards. That there's no easy path down to the river from here, so I have to actually continue all the way around till I get down to low ground. So if I'd done that while the tank destroyer was still out there, I would know I would have survived. There are 6 enemies remaining though, and there's only 3 of them around the castle, which begs the question as where the other 3 are, especially since we have a medium tank coming in behind the castle. And he hasn't spotted them, so they've gotten past him. They've either swung along by the river, in which case he wouldn't have seen them from the route he took, or they're going well south and to the west. But one of them's turned up on a ridge line just north of our cap circle. I reckon we're in trouble at this stage, because they must be pretty close to our cap circle. There's more than him. And we're nowhere near their cap circles, so... And it's quite a distance. It's a fair hour race from here back to our cap circle, and they've entered the cap circle, so now they're starting to gap. And there's 2 of them in there, so it's probably not the guy on the ridge. The other bad thing about this is that the direct line to the cap circle is across open ground. Can easily be seen from the cap circle, so we've got to race down as fast as we can and hope we make it in time. And it's going to be close. If the 3rd tank was in there, I think there's a very good chance the enemy would have actually made it. They would have capped before we'd have gotten a reset in. As it turns out, they get to about 37 seconds before a reset gets put in, and that's just with 2 of them capping. We've just spotted one of the guys in the cap circle and bounced a shot off him, or missed. And we've spotted the 2nd guy in the cap circle. But we still haven't got in a reset. The reset just kicks in just now. The KV-13 that came down with me is now exposed. He's going to be shot at from the people in the cap circle. He's also going to be shot at by the guy on the ridge. Although, in my opinion, of the guy on the ridge, if he decided not to enter the cap circle, which he obviously did, would have been better off going up to defend, to break our cap, to defend against our capture. And if he had done that while we were engaged down here, now I've gotten a shot and got the cap reset. But my most important thing, and the guy with me is dead, but the most important thing I can do right now is keep these guys spotted so that the guys behind me can shoot. But if the T-34-100 that was on the ridge line drove back up to the cap circle, he'd probably gotten a reset in the cap, and if he did so, he'd have killed 2 of our tanks. So he would have been, and that would have given him a strong position then, because he would have had, we would have had to go looking for him, and or go back to the cap and go looking for him, and he'd have a much better chance of finding us isolated. Now, I get 1 shot off here as soon as I go around the corner. He spotted me. I'd kind of forgotten he was there. But the thing is, he just got that 1 shot off. He killed me, and he was killed more or less instantaneously. And if you look, I have 14 assisted damage ribbons. And when you swings over to the ribbons section here, that's just about to show. After the damage, so we get all the various bits, and we see the 2nd class mastery, and there we have another 15 ribbons. So we get the credit for that. At least one of the shots that took out that T-34-100. I think defending the cap can work, or defending your cappers can work if you have an obvious bottleneck and there's very few enemy tanks going to return and reset the cap. But if you have to fight a lot of enemies, I don't think it's a worthwhile proposition. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and thumbs up. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. That's it for now. I'll catch you all again soon. Bye.